Hi, this is your friendly neighborhood Ravenspeaker. I'm using this video platform to do something that has been done for thousands of years, really. It's to use storytelling as a way to impart wisdom. Not just any wisdom, but the gathered wisdom of generations, hundreds, maybe even thousands of years, to explain the problems of life and the problems of living. So I'm going to get myself set up. So there's an experience that I've had several times in the last 6 months, and really in the last 6 years, that I'm not alone. And that is, I can know somebody all my life. I can really just get along with this person. Everything is fine, and everybody loves everybody else. And you've had this happen to you as well, where, we have this crazy thing. It's called a presidential election. It comes by every 4 years. And suddenly this person you've known all your life finds out what your thoughts are on the matter. And before you know it, you're crazy, evil, or stupid. Why does that happen? How does that happen? This person knows you. They know you're okay. They know that you're not this terrible person. But you're crazy, evil, or stupid because you don't agree with them. How'd that happen? So it turns out when storytelling is done right, it can present answers to some of these questions in a way that sticks with you and gives you something to think about in a deeper way. It's not book learning where you learn some fact and it makes sense to you and you go around and you believe it. It's true. You've heard it. It's true. The problem is you don't see it. You don't feel it. So later on down the road, when you're presented with an opportunity to use this knowledge, you can't really use it well. Sometimes you don't even recognize that the situation called for that knowledge because it's not really yours. You didn't see it. You read it in a book, or a professor told you on a stage. And so, because you didn't see it, it really isn't your truth. And storytelling has a way of cutting through all of that. It presents you with something to see, and you either feel it or you don't feel it. And it just works better. So there's a story that I heard when I was 5 or 6 years old that really explains this phenomena. Why are you crazy, evil, or stupid? And why does somebody who knows you well enough to know that that isn't true, why do they think you're suddenly crazy, evil, or stupid, when for the last however many years they thought you were a great person? What happened? So here's the story, and I'm going to invite you, just as my ancestors would have done. I'm not going to tell you what you're supposed to think. I'm just going to tell you the story, and then you can use the story to help you determine the answer to that question. Why are you crazy, evil, or stupid? Or, let's face it, why do you think that person is crazy, evil, or stupid? So, I first heard this story when I was 5 or 6 years old. You're going to discover one thing about me as we go through these videos. I have really vivid memories from being very young. And I heard this story. I was very young. I have no idea where it comes from. I don't know if it's a traditional story or if somebody was using it as a metaphor for something, and it's a very good metaphor if they were. The story goes like this. There are 3 blind men. They haven't really been out and about. They don't know much about the world. They're blind, and in their cases, they haven't really been allowed to experience much. So somebody decides to give them a chance to experience something rather than try to describe it in a book. they're going to give them the opportunity to interact with this thing. And what they do is they bring them into this room where there's an elephant, but there's not a lot of room. So they put one person at the front of the elephant, another person in the middle, and another person behind the elephant. Now remember, these three guys are blind. They also have very little experience with the world. They've never heard of an elephant. They have no idea what it is. And the first one reaches out, and he can tell whatever this is, it's definitely alive. He can hear the sounds. He can smell the smells. He can tell that he's sitting on, or I should say he's standing on some straw. This is probably alive, whatever this is. So he reaches out, and he feels a tusk, and it's hard. And he can tell that the creature, whatever it is, moves out of the way in order to not be touched, So it has some kind of awareness. And he says, oh, okay, so it's alive. He remembers way back when he was little, there was a movie that he really liked. He couldn't see it, of course, but he would listen along. And apparently a little girl with a scarecrow was trying to pick apples off a tree, and the tree slapped her hand. He could hear the tree slapping the little girl's hand. Oh, maybe this is something like that. And keep in mind, these people have been sheltered. They don't really know much about the world as it actually is. Nobody ever told them, well, that's just a movie, little Johnny, or whatever his name is. So, okay, maybe this is something like that. Maybe this is a tree, and he's moving away because just like in that movie, he doesn't want me to pick the apples off of him. Okay, very good. So he's satisfied with that. Works for him. The next fellow, he's in the middle, and he puts his hand on the skin, and it's hot, it's warm, and it goes in and out as the animal breathes. And he's thinking, wow, this animal is really big. And he remembers way back, he had like a toy cow. And he knew it was a cow because somebody told him it was a cow. And it had this big belly, and this one has a big belly. So this must be a cow. And he nods his head, yeah, this works for me. This is a cow. Now the one in the back, he's reaching out, and there's just a tail, and the tail swishing around. He grabs at the tail, and then the tail swishes away whenever he grabs at it. And he's like, oh, okay. Well, this kind of reminds me of what I imagine a snake looks like. So this must be a snake. Now, the three gentlemen are taken into a room, and they're invited to share their thoughts on what it is they see. And of course, they all experience something different. So the question that I have for you is, why are you crazy, evil, or stupid? Why is the other person crazy, evil, or stupid? And why are you both right and you're both wrong? This is your friendly neighborhood Ravenspeaker saying, dem allgekniezen.